Thank you so much for coming, both of you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay. For the creators or for the audience, creators of PinkLungi is an amazing YouTube and Instagram channel. You got, and a web, and they have a website. Where else are you guys on?
No.
Yeah, primarily these three. Yeah.
Primarily these three.
Yeah. Primarily Instagram.
Okay. So just give a brief intro about yourselves.
So I'm Govindan and this is Aishwarya. We are the co-founders of PinkLungi. So we wanted to create a digital media space that would appeal to Malayalis. We wanted it to be fun, something about pop culture, and that's basically what PinkLungi is. And yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah.
How did it start off? Like the origin of it? You guys were working in. You're still working in traditional jobs, right? I mean,
No,
we
we're
were.
not, yeah.
We left that. So
Okay.
I was working in a traditional job till 2023, December 2023.
Okay.
And she was till 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it started off in 2019. We were sitting with a bunch of our friends in Bombay, in our flat.
Very
in Bombay.
opportune moment 2019 because right next year pandemic hit and
yeah.
everybody is like glued onto their phones and you guys blew up. So this is like
Yeah.
nimittam ennu.
So she worked in a company called Last Men at the time.
Okay.
So it was under a company called Folk Media
Okay.
that handles other companies like Curly Tales and Mashable. So I was in that environment
In that
when they
space.
were in their prime. So I learned a lot of technicalities, running a website, being on videos, how they shoot behind the scenes, how they go on ground and shoot. So that space is kind of interesting. And I was like, and then we were having the conversation.
Yeah, so 2019, we were just sitting in our apartment with a bunch of friends. So we are from the same school.
Right.
So though we are like years apart in school, Paksha, we met in Bombay and I had my school friends there. So we
Lot
were
of
one
common
gang.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were sitting and talking and one of my friends was also working in Asmen at the time. So he said, idupolte oru saanam Malayalikku illalo, why don't you guys think of it? Like, the two of you can write, why don't you do it? And we'll all pitch in and we'll start this off.
Okay.
Like we'll pitch in with ideas on it. And that's how it started. So we were just sitting brainstorming, how do we come up with a
Yeah.
name for this? And then she was like, we used to, in my generation, we had this, I am a Malayali, I wear a pink
Pink
lungi,
lungi.
I'm a card holding member of the
I want to
Marxist
break
party.
freeze.
Yeah. So അങ്ങനെയാണ് pink lungi on. She's like, why not pink lungi? And we're like, yeah, that clicks, right? It's a name that sticks in your head. So അങ്ങനെ pink lungi എന്നുള്ള പേര് വന്നു. We started initially as a website only.
Okay.
Instagram was, we wanted to grow on Instagram because back then 10k followers എത്തിയാലേ ഇൻസ്റ്റാഗ്രാമിൽ സ്വൈപ്പ് അപ്പ് ഉള്ളൂ സ്റ്റോറിയിൽ.
Right,
So we wanted to basically put our articles in the story here so that people would swipe up and go to
Go
our
to the
website.
website, yeah.
But eventually we had to pivot because Instagram grew far faster than our website did. So we were, growing a lot faster on Instagram and there were these posts that we made that clicked. So we grew on Instagram and that organically അങ്ങനെയാണ് grow ചെയ്ത് വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്.
So back then, but we had inspiration. We had Scoop Up and BuzzFeed.
yeah.
So in
Right.
the media firm, we used to follow them to create content for us.
Yeah.
Then we were looking at the same inspiration, and that's how we started creating content.
Okay.
Then original ideas started coming, and then it blew up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, so at what point did you guys decide that, okay, now this is something which you guys want to do full time? Or like,
Oh,
like
that's a very long.
I think December 2023. ഞാൻ
Yeah.
quit ചെയ്തപ്പോഴാണ് ശരിക്ക് we were like, okay, let's go into this.
now, what was the turning point? What was the flashpoint? For you?
So the thing is, I was working in a publishing firm.
Right.
So I had been working there for 10 years. So I was handling a business vertical there. I was handling AI, ML, and blockchain there. So it's an IT publishing firm. We used to publish books for developers.
Okay.
So I was handling this vertical, and at one point I realized, like, okay, I have acquired a certain set of skills, which I'm using to to develop this vertical, make more revenue for this vertical. If I use the same set of skills, I can develop PinkLungi, and that is my baby. That is our baby.
Yeah.
So why not do that? Like, why not take that leap of faith? If I don't do it, ab nahi to kab nalla reedilan. So you jump into it and you see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, I went and told my boss, let's see,
Good.
മതി, ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ നിർത്തുകയാണ്, ഞാൻ പോവുകയാണ് അത്.
And I think it mainly had to do with COVID and how work from home, the setting. So with me, I would actually, if we were in Bombay, I highly doubt we would have gone the whole full-time route. But because of COVID and because we had to work from home, a lot of our working hours extended, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to work till 12 a.m. in the morning on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So I quit my job then. So that it was me who quit my job, and then I started taking up, writing content, creating the designs for Instagram. And then after a point, I was like, I need somebody, I need backup. That's when he decided to quit. He also had the same problems where he had
my
to
problem
work.
was different because for her it is because it's a creative space, so the demand was different. My team was based out of India, so
Yeah.
it was mostly people. At that point, it was all over India. Once it became work from home, it was all over India, and so so the company also had a flexible working hour policy. You just have to work 8 hours. So they'd log in at random times and they'll start working. And I was reporting to people in the UK, so I had to work on their time. So I was essentially online from 8 in the morning till 8 in the night. And it basically meant that I had no life outside of sitting in front of a laptop.
Right.
And that's when I was like, it was slowly eating into me.
Yeah.
And once we saw some success with PinkLungi, we were like, there is a model in this which we can pursue. We were like, yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
It's okay if I don't get a paycheck every month.
Okay. But how long did that take to see that first success of PinkLungi? I mean, like when you started, was it like when you started getting a certain number of followers, or then, a certain monetary amount started coming in, or when you felt like this is, okay, let's just go all in on this?
Yeah. So the funny part was that we often wanted to quit. We just wanted to stop and like, let's go to our full-time jobs. At least there we'll get like a monthly
Really?
paycheck.
Okay.
And then there's been many times, but then we kept on persisting because we believe that, this could be something. If we leave it now, we'll regret it later. So we kept on pushing, and then finally, when we quit our jobs,
the other
it
thing is
became
also
serious.
social media is very taxing.
Yeah,
because
it is.
you're constantly scrutinized, and at one point you'll be like,
Why?
like you just have to think about what 30 people think of you, and
Be done with it,
your life is okay, set. And that too, because this is our baby, it's our 8 to 8 alla. We don't have any holidays. We work throughout.
24/7.
Sunday work ചെയ്യും. We are always working, and we are like, this eventually a burnout എത്താൻ തുടങ്ങി. And it was okay when it was a passion project. You could just, you could be like, oh, ഇതിങ്ങനെ പോയാൽ മതി. പക്ഷെ once it became a full time, like ഈ Dirty Jobs in the presenter has a blog where he talks about it, a blog post where he talks about when he says it's okay to chase your passion. But the moment it becomes something that you earn money from, it changes.
It becomes a job.
Yeah, it becomes a job.
I was literally giving somebody, actually my last guest, she's a creator, and this is an advice I heard from a professor in ISB, when I was doing my course in ISB. He said, never invest in your passion. Never invest in your passion. Because you see a lot of IT guys, and I saw it around COVID, like, he was an IT, he quit, now he's become a baker. Okay. That's all nice and fun and games when you're baking for like 3 people in your house. The moment you start taking orders from out, you're on somebody else's time.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have a deadline to meet.
Yeah.
Eventually, enough number of orders, that means enough number of deadlines. Then you have to start like focusing more on cutting the cost, calculating the. Now it's a job.
Yeah.
Now it's literally a job. The whole joy of that baking has been sucked away.
Yeah, so initially what started off, what really pivoted to us realizing that this could be something full time is when, for me at least, is when I enjoy the operational side of things.
Right.
Okay.
So even at my job, it used to be my old day job. It used to be about getting processes and putting in systems in place. So solving problems that arrive in the, the operational process of getting a book done.
Okay.
I start looking at this as the same thing only. It's like, okay, ella Monday we put a fund post. So, okay, the first thing is how do you arrive at the idea? Then develop from that idea. So, ella oru process pole undakittu. So, it's a system that I work with. It's no longer, എനിക്ക് ഇന്ന ഐഡിയ കിട്ടി, like you said, it's not like a poster that I see and I'm like, ഇതിനെ കുറിച്ച് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടാക്കാം, അങ്ങനെയല്ല. It's like I know that on Monday I have to put something fun. So you plan for it.
Okay.
it sounds very it doesn't
Boring.
sound romantic. It sounds very boring.
Methodical and boring.
That's what works.
But
That's
that's
how
the only thing that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if we don't follow a system, it's going to be like any other page. Okay, idea kitty, post diya. But that's not how social media works, especially if you're building a company like PinkLungi. So basically, when I'm on social media or when I'm reading the news, I feel like, PinkLungi should have covered this. PinkLungi should have covered the story because it's a story that people would relate to. It's a story that we have to tell. So, when you have that urge to tell the story, you'd want to keep on going to, even though you might not have covered it in the near
Right.
future, you still want to cover the story on PinkLungi. So, ഒരു urge
Right.
that I want to do this, that's the push that I get personally from PinkLungi. That's why I've never stopped for now.
So right now it's just you. I mean, the team is just
just
So
the both of us.
basically 3 full-time employees at this point, the 2 of us and the video editor.
okay.
We have hired a graphic designer who will join next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pinnilladakka freelancers ആണ്. These are all people we've met along the way.
Yeah.
We met them in person for the first time in 2022, I think.
Okay.
ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ 2019 തൊട്ടിട്ട് one by one, like they were our initial followers, or they were people who started following us at some point, and they'd ping us saying, we'd like to write for you.
Yeah.
And
Or we have an
അങ്ങനെ-
idea, would you
Yeah.
like to publish it?
Yeah, അങ്ങനെ പരിചയമായിട്ട് we start talking, and online. So PinkLungi has been work from home before work from home was a thing. It
Right,
started off as a work from home thing.
Okay.
And so we have about 28 people who've been there throughout, who still contribute in certain ways, and that's how the
whole model works,
ഈ പ്രസ്ഥാനം ഓടിച്ചു പോകുന്നത്
So,
ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്.
Kanna parayala to. It like your final output, going by the website, the number of articles that you guys cover, and the creative approach, the creative angle you guys take on like what was the one thing which I recently saw, which was which like Malayali heroes if they were your boyfriends or if they were your brother or something. It is,
Malayali villains if they were your siblings.
Siblings.
yeah, Malayali villains if they were yeah.
Yeah.
That
was his idea, yeah.
That's like what I'm saying.
Again, this is a Monday post.
Yeah.
So I was like, Monday എന്തെങ്കിലും ഫണ്ട് ഇടണം, എങ്ങനെ എടുത്തു തരാം. And it's usually like, വല്ലതും ഞാൻ വല്ലയിടത്തും കണ്ടത് I keep noting it on my phone. Like one recent one that has done really well is Malayalam terms that I'd like to Malayalam terms that you might want to
from other languages
to non-Malayalis.
Okay, okay,
That
right.
you might want to introduce to non-Malayalis.
Right.
ഇതെങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ധീരൻ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരു സിനിമ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. സോ ധീരൻ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ one of the characters tells the other one, അവിടെ പോകേണ്ട പട്ടിലോക്ക ഉണ്ട്. And it's like translation subtitle trap. And I was like, പട്ടിലോക്ക് and trap, that's very interesting. This പട്ടിലോക്ക് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ it's something that എൻ്റെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഞാൻ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഈ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ തെറി മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്ക് പഠിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാറുള്ളൂ. ഇതൊക്കെ ദിസ് ഇസ് വെരി ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ്, റൈറ്റ്? സോ അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് വന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ഈ പോസ്റ്റിന്റെ അടിയിൽ ഇഫ് യു ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ കമന്റ് വന്നിട്ടാണ് പട്ടിലോക്ക് എന്താ സാധനം. വെൻ ദ ഐഡിയ ഇറ്റ്സെൽഫ് കെയിം ഫ്രം ദാറ്റ് വൺ വേർഡ്. പക്ഷേ ദാറ്റ്സ് ഹൗ ദീസ് തിങ്സ് come to us. Basically, we are on the lookout. Again, the thing is, we are on the lookout for എങ്ങനെ ഒരു കോണ്ടന്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഇടാന്ന് എപ്പോഴും ആലോചിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ടാവും. And if it fits our എന്താ പറയാ പേജിന്റെ ഒരു cultural ethos, we put it.
Yeah. Okay. And mostly entertainment as a category is what he handles. Because I'm like, I'm a...
News and political...
No, it's not even that. I'm not a 100% full Malayalam movie watcher. Cherpa Mudala, I just watch it, enjoy chidu atrullo. I don't go deep
so
into
the thing
the...
is, people have this thing that, we are all Gulf kids. The thing is, half, പറഞ്ഞ 32 ആൾക്കാരുടെ ടീമിലും പകുതി ഗൾഫും പകുതി നാട്ടിൽ നിന്നാണ്. സോ ഞാൻ നാട്ടിൽ നിന്നാണ്. ഐ സ്റ്റഡീഡ് ഇൻ തൃശ്ശൂർ ഓൺലി. ഫുൾ തുടക്കം തൊട്ടിട്ട് എൻഡ് വരെ ഞാൻ തൃശ്ശൂരിലാണ് പഠിച്ചേക്കണേ. എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് വരെ ഞാൻ തൃശ്ശൂരാണ് പഠിച്ചേക്കണേ. വേറെ ഷീ കെയിം ടു തൃശ്ശൂർ ഓൺലി വെൻ ഷി വാസ് ഇൻ 6th standard. ടിൽ ദെൻ ഷി വാസ് ഇൻ അബുദാബി. സോ ഷീ ഈസ് എൻ NRI kid. അപ്പൊ അത് കാരണം
6th honestly doesn't really count. I mean, like, I was a Gulfi kid to the 12th.
പക്ഷെ there is that എന്താ പറയാ, so there are lots of the references പറയുമ്പോൾ it goes over her head. You know, movie references ഒക്കെ പറയുമ്പോ. And then I have to make her watch this. I'm like, da, ee cinema ഇത് കാണരുന്നിട്ടത്.
But in terms of PinkLungi's aesthetics, the creatives, I'm the one who takes care of it.
Okay.
People stories is something that I'm very interested. Small business stories, that's what I take care of. He's the one who takes care of all the technical stuff.
ഞാൻ കോൺട്രവേഴ്ഷ്യൽ
Yeah.
ഞാൻ കാരണം കുറെ ഫോളോവേഴ്സ് പോകാറുണ്ട്. ഞാനിങ്ങനെ ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് എനിക്കിങ്ങനെ ഇതായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഒരു പോസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും, ഒരു ഇതൊക്കെ എഴുതിയിടും. And people will be like, oh, loser opinion, L opinion, പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്
Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that, Amita? Like, okay, give me one example of something which really, like, you know, you were passionate about and you felt you were on the right side of things.
Yesterday's
post la, the one that really hit me hard, so hard that, you know, it's one of those moments when you're like, idu nirthi powa ennulla reethi.
Right.
It's when I had written an article about, it's a post on Instagram about the death penalty, how the death penalty should be, we should consider abolishing the death penalty or it. And people were so rooted with that one case, you know, that lady did that to this man or it. It was about that one case, and they were like, you know, how can you talk about it? You know, the argument is completely lost. They're on the surface. They're not reading through the whole thing. My argument, why I feel lost on it.
Right.
And it's also that, you know, I was not saying ippo eduthu kalayanam. I'm presenting a question so that I believe that death penalty is going to go away in my lifetime? I don't. I think that it's going to take a lot of time. Society has to change.
Right.
Paksha, you have to start a conversation somewhere, right? But the thing is, I realized that we are not even open to having that conversation.
Right.
Adana, that day was the day when we lost the most number of followers.
Yeah.
And that was so disheartening. Like, you know, in a day we lost about 500, 600 followers. And Instagram la ella ദിവസവും ഇങ്ങനെ when people say that we'll unfollow you, I will be like, ha പോയിക്കോ. Because എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ഒരു 10-20 at least ഒരു 100 ആൾക്കാർ പക്ഷെ this one day, in a matter of hours, you know, I saw the dip, and the dip was so hard that ഈ കേക്ക് എത്തി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ thousands എത്തി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ it doesn't change often. And when it started dipping, I was like, oh shit, ഞാൻ കാരണം, like ഇത്രയും കാലം ഈ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരുടെ എഫേർട്ട് ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, എന്റെ വാശി കാരണമാണ് ഇത് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്. And she ഇടുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് she said there will be repercussions, people will, you know, I was like, we are saying the right thing, I'm saying what I feel is right.
Okay.
And do you not think it's the right thing? And she's like, yeah, I think you have the right arguments. എന്നിട്ട് ഇത് വരുമ്പോ you want to actually sit and debate also, പക്ഷെ ഡിബേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും social media debate is not debate. It's an argument.
It's an argument.
Yeah.
There is no, so that's one thing which I've seen about social media now. Like, there's no healthy debate anymore. There's no debate. And second, people, like, the whole thing of an opinion, it's gone. You're not supposed to have an opinion. Like, your opinion is bad. Like, bro, it is my opinion. There's no good or bad opinion. It is, that's the whole point of an opinion. But like, no, your opinion is bad. What you put out there, it's your page and it's your opinion. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't make you wrong.
So adu matralla, one thing that, another thing is that, so ആരെങ്കിലും അവരുടെ വലുത് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can refute it. There has to be, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് കേട്ടിരിക്കണം എന്നല്ല, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ വലുത് വിട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് തിരിച്ചും അതിന്റെ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പറയാൻ പറ്റണം. അത് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ഓ യു ആർ നോട്ട് ടേക്കിംഗ് ക്രിറ്റിസിസം വെൽ. I thought you were having a conversation. Like, ഞാൻ കേട്ടിരുന്നാ മതിയോ? And another thing is personal attacks. Ad hominem is very rampant. ഒരു പോയിന്റിനല്ല അവർ ഡിബേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടാവും, ഇവര് ആളുടെ എതിരെയാണ്. And it's very, എന്താ പറയുക, disheartening തന്നെ ഉള്ളൂ. There is no other word for it. And those are the days when we feel like quitting and, you know, stopping everything. But then we'll be like, you know, one of us will have a sane mind and we'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, are you like the voice of reason?
I know it's both of us actually, yeah. Sometimes it's mostly, no, it's both of us.
Yeah,
it's both of us, yeah.
Pinna, the other thing is we've got a initial group of friends, so baakiyullore ellavarum, like the people who are the freelancers on the team, or the friends who got us to start, they've always been encouraging.
Yeah.
So eppa kandalum, they only have good things to say about PinkLungi, and you know, that encouragement is a huge driver for us. Right. Because in reality we are creating content for them.
Right.
Because it's a fairly diverse group. But avarku ishtainengil, I'm like, okay, fine, because that's our core target audience in the sense. So alkaru varilla, when you're speaking to camera, pretend that it's one person. You're speaking to a friend. You're speaking to somebody that you know. അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഇതും. We are making this for them. We're making this to speak to that core group. And the thing is, the rest of the following is a representation of that core group.
Also, I think we underestimate what we are, to be honest, because because നമ്മുടെ തലയിൽ PinkLungi, we're just two people handling something that has a big vision. പുറത്ത്, from a outsider's perspective, like you said, you didn't know that it was just two of us.
See,
It feels like a big team,
when you
right?
said, like, it's, I would compare it to like a homegrown version of BuzzFeed or of Brute
So
or something. Like, you guys haven't started doing like you guys do videos like full series docu-series. You guys haven't started, but if it's there, like I would be surprised if you guys are like Brute or BuzzFeed size.
So our perspective, we are not able to see, we are not able to visualize, okay, ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്, ഇത്ര വലുതാണ് ആൾക്കാരുടെ പെർസ്പെക്റ്റീവിൽ. So we think of us still as very small, imposter syndrome ആണ്. Like,
I was going to ask you, do you guys have imposter syndrome?
every single day.
I think most of us have that to a certain extent, and I do. Sometimes I see people who are like overselling themselves so good. How do I get that swagger? How do I like teach me? How do you do that? It's not Delulu. How do you get that skill?
Yeah.
But like, you guys have to stay very much, and you guys are very much connected to the pulse of like Mallu society. Right? Whether
I'd like to think so.
Whether it be like, the arts or like, movies or issues going around, the arts going around, or it's socio-political issues, these sort of things. I've always seen like, your articles, what you put out, you guys are very well connected to it, and you somehow try to find a twist to, make it a little more relatable, a little more palatable, a little more easily digestible. Like, so how do you get the time to just like, I barely get time to watch movies, man. I really love movies. I'm a guy who loves movies. I've always wanted to be a movie reviewer, but I genuinely do not get the time. Like, I do not get the time to watch. Like, I haven't even seen Loka. Yeah. I haven't.
പുറത്തത് പറയല്ലേ.
I haven't. I'm waiting for it to come on Hotstar and I watch it on my phone. But, like, how do you find the time to, like, after doing all this? Like,
I think now it's a full-time job now.
Yeah.
So we have to find
So you
the
have to
time.
do it.
Yeah. So he's a night owl. I'm a early bird. So he sits till like 3, 4, and because it's his space, it's his own time. He's always on the computer reading, writing.
Okay.
Me on the other hand, I wake up early, and that's where. So he gives me the content, I create it for him,
So
and then
you wake up, the content is ready. Content's on the table, I'm going to sleep with it.
Yeah, mostly it's
Yeah,
that.
the thing is, I feel like there's a lot more that we can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot more we can do. We're still not as the simple movies on Nainalum. We don't watch all the movies. We watch a few. The ones that we think can can be used for PinkLungi. Like, for example, Loka was one such movie where we were like, okay, superhero, everybody's talking about it, so let's go watch it and see how it is.
Yeah.
And അങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്യാറ്.
But then we want to reach a point where we can watch all movies and then talk about it. We've not
Because
reached
basically
it.
we have to build a team. We have to vision, the perception that people have. We want to make sure that we actually
Keep
are
up with
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's a lot of pressure? I mean,
It's not. It's the pressure
to
to
grow into that mold, or to the burden to keep churning out content. But especially because now let's just say you churned out, you put out something huge, thing goes viral, everyone loves it. You gotta top it up.
No, actually, no, we don't
You
do
don't?
that.
Yeah.
No. So the thing is, to prevent the whole burnout stage, we've created a system where we post like at least 3 posts goes up in a week. Okay, no matter what. 3 is decently fair. We are able to do it. Maybe in the future, when we have a bigger team, we can post every day.
Okay.
So we've created a system where our burnout stage എത്തിയിട്ടില്ല. In terms of burden, I think the pressure is not on creating better content. The pressure is us being able to reach the point where we are able to see that, okay, we can build this company. Our pressure ഉണ്ട്, like we have to build this company because we quit our jobs for this. We have to, reach a point where we can hire people. We can build PinkLungi as a media company that we envision. That pressure is always there. I think it's needed also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys face any pushback from home when you guys were quitting your
not at
job
all.
and getting into this?
Not at all. They were very supportive from the whole team.
They didn't ask the whole like, well, like,
ഇല്ലില്ല.
I think even 10 വർഷം ഓൾറെഡി ബോംബെയിലായിരുന്നു അപ്പം മതിയായിരുന്നു.
അത് മാത്രല്ല, the thing was that വീട്ടിലും my ചെറിയച്ഛൻ ചെറിയമ്മ everybody watches PinkLungi and they really like the content. So എല്ലാം ഇങ്ങനെ, so even if Amma is not really on Instagram, she's like, curtained. She's aware that, everybody talks about it. And I come from a family which is like this. Like my father's father was M. Govindan. He is a writer only. So at the end, my father was a theater director. He was a theater artist. So he quit his job at Enfield and did this. So
makes sense.
It was like, ellarum kind of predictable that
so it's not an alien concept in your family to pursue an artistic line.
Yeah.
Okay. What about yours?
For me, because I'm the youngest from the lot, I'm like, and they will Amma's chill that way. And then nammal kalyanathinokku പോകുമ്പോൾ all the cousins or the aunties be like, ഞാൻ വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു, ഫേസ്ബുക്കിൽ കണ്ടു, വാട്സാപ്പിൽ കണ്ടു. It feels thoda.
Seriously? Why?
I know, because the thing is, you're like,
Okay, they've seen.
Yeah, they've seen, and it's so there's serious content that we do. There's fun random shit that we do. Just ഓടിച്ചാടി നടക്കലും എന്നൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതൊക്കെ ഇവര് കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, and by how people perceive me in the family is very different from my online persona.
He's the most introvert. Like, you don't go and disturb him or you piss him off, he bursts. So our persona and family, and then they watch a funny video of yours and our perception imbalance.
Right. So you're not comfortable with them seeing that side of you, or like that's why it feels a little strange.
I mean, you said you're not camera friendly, right?
No, I'm not.
So you can't watch your own videos.
I cannot
so imagine somebody else watching the same video.
Yeah, so them coming and saying that, oh, idu nannayirunnu, and I can't believe.
You can't
and
believe
the
it,
other thing is also that in my head, ആ വീഡിയോ അത്ര നന്നായിരുന്നില്ല, ഇവരെന്തിനത് വന്ന് പറയണം, are they trying to be nice or just be polite?
That is absolutely the same thing for me. It's like every time after I'm done. So I have like a few friends of mine who religiously watch all my episodes. Like there's one friend of mine in Kuwait, Matthew. He watches, like, literally he puts it on TV and he watches it and it shares a screenshot. And I'm like, it's like the sweetest thing ever. And I'm scared to ask, like,
did you like
it? Them watching is fine. I'm okay with that. That's why I'm putting it out there. But I don't want to be in the room and no one's like,
അതിന്റെ ഒരു എക്സ്റ്റെൻഡ് ഇതാണ് വന്നിട്ട്, ഓ ഇത് കണ്ടുട്ടാ പറയുമ്പോ ഓക്കെ നൈസ്, ശരി എന്നാ പിന്നെ കാണാം.
It does feel nice when your family says to their friends that I know PinkLungi the founder. It does feel nice.
You ever had strangers come up to you and
the thing is, we don't go out. We're not in the social circle, or we are not social butterflies, so we don't usually get. But then sometimes we do. Like I think the last time when we went to a concert, PinkLungi.
Concert ഗുരുവായൂർ അമ്പലത്തിന്റെ
ഗുരുവായൂർ അമ്പലം.
ഞങ്ങൾ എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ on weekends, so we stay in Guruvayur. So Ambalam is just about 5 kilometers away. So ഞങ്ങൾ ഇങ്ങനെ അമ്പലത്തിന് ഉള്ളിലേക്ക് കയറില്ല, ഇങ്ങനെ അമ്പലത്തിന് ചുറ്റും ഇങ്ങനെ വേറെ ഇങ്ങനെ 2-3 റൗണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ നടക്കും, എന്തെങ്കിലും എവിടെയെങ്കിലും പോയിട്ട് നടക്കണേ, നൈസ് വൈബ് ആണ്. അപ്പൊ നടക്കുമ്പോ one random lady came and said, oh, PinkLungi. And then Aishwarya was so conscious. She's like, are you wearing these night clothes? Like, we are just randomly walking. ഞങ്ങൾ ആക്ച്വലി അമ്പലത്തിന് പുറത്ത് നടക്കുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ തുറച്ചു നോക്കും, because I'll be wearing a shorts and walking around അവിടെ.
Because we've just come to waste time. I see. And so, then one lady, she comes. She was very sweet. She's like, I don't know you live here. I don't know. So it was very nice. Yeah, such interactions are very sweet.
I've had one person who so ഒരു bye bye bypassന്റെ വീഡിയോ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇട്ടപ്പോൾ, it was shot in a particular location in Attani. So that temple is very popular. So this person lives somewhere close by. So she was like, oh, I live here only. I say, yeah, my mother's house is close by. And then she saw me at a restaurant. I was buying this thing.
I think Alfam.
എനിക്ക് പേര് കിട്ടിയിരുന്നില്ല. അൽഫാം വാങ്ങിക്കാൻ പോയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. And then she was like, I saw you buying Alfam, but I didn't know if I should disturb you. I was like, അയ്യോ ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങോട്ടല്ലേ വന്ന് സംസാരിച്ചോളൂ, ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നിട്ട് ആരും സംസാരിക്കില്ല, അത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ.
Have you guys ever like had an issue like amongst y'all when you guys tackled a topic where it's like, like you said earlier, you tackled a topic which was controversial, which later came and backfired, and you guys like had decided like maybe we shouldn't have done that?
Was it the AI thing?
No, we've not had അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഇതുണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. We've had discussions like ഒരു പോസ്റ്റ് ഇട്ടിട്ട് പിന്നെ ഡിസ്കഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Okay.
Like ആ ഗിബിലി ട്രെൻഡ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലേ?
Yeah. That AI, the cartoon.
അത് കണ്ടപ്പോൾ we were like, oh, let's do it എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് we കുറച്ച് മലയാളം സിനിമയുടെ iconic scenes convert ചെയ്തിട്ട് we put it up.
Right.
And then there was so much backlash, like people are like, how can you do this? You're disrespecting the creators, കുറേ വന്നു. And so then the discussion, so we have a PinkLungi group where, all of our people are there and we started discussing. And, ഞങ്ങളുടെ discussion was basically like, is AI good or bad എന്നുള്ള ഒരു രീതിയിൽ we started discussing. So അതിൽ it was not really that, എന്താ പറയുക, ഒരു ഡിബേറ്റ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലായിരുന്നില്ല. It was basically discussing about, so one of the things is like, this is just a fun post. It's not a monetized thing or something.
Right,
It is just a silly thing that is being pulled up. It's just a trend. അതിന് you don't really have to ഇത്ര കെയോസിന്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല, ഇത്ര ഒപ്പീനിയൻസിന്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല ഇതിൽ. അങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു ഒരു ഡിസ്കഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ then we started talking about sampling, like how AI is sampling things and how our, as humans we also sample stuff.
Right.
Nothing is really original. It all comes from sampling.
Yeah.
So even AI, the problem is that we see the capacity of AI to sample things and its ability to എന്താ പറയുക, supersede our നമുക്ക് വിചാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത അത്ര ഇതിലാണ്. That is what really instills fear in us.
Right.
And that, ഈ complete, so there's a set of people who say that, don't use AI at all. And we find it very, എന്താ പറയുക, ഒരുമാതിരി മണ്ടത്തരല്ല ഇത്. It's a tool that you can use. And to rely on it completely, if you see an ad that is completely AI, like you were talking about the uncanny valley.
Right.
And that's a real effect that I feel, at least, when I see creators using their dummy AI this thing and they create multiple videos. There's some innate, എന്താ പറയുക, ഒരു fear, dislike, something strange that happens because of the uncanny valley effect.
Right.
So I don't agree with that kind of usage. Paksha, to use it to, for example, my research on a certain topic has become far faster because of
of AI.
Perplexity and ChatGPT. I basically go to Perplexity for it. I have conversations with Perplexity and to distill out thoughts or to arrive at so if somebody submits an article, I give it to Perplexity instead of sitting and digging through each point to see if it's right or wrong. So I ask it to do a fact check and give it to me. So Angana, it's a very good tool. So that was the kind of discussion that we had. So it was not just about, should we have put that post or not, another discussion. It's the discussion is usually like, adila varna comments in we start thinking about those pointers. Should AI be used? Is it ethical for AI to do sampling? Angante discussions are njangal undavaru. Which, like I said, like endha paraya, it's something that we would do on the PinkLungi Instagram page. Paksha, the discussion gets very chaotic there. So the PinkLungi team group is where we have more detailed insights and conversations about topics that we could have covered, we might have covered. And so cinema opinions we'll usually come and people will be like, this what you said is something that I debate. This is what I think. We have discussions there about it.
Okay.
But it's a very healthy debate because unlike social media, we know each other. So you wouldn't say things that you wouldn't say. So on the primary problem that I have with social media comment section is that you say things to the other person without really considering the other person as a human being. When you consider the other person as a human being, as a friend or as just a human being, നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന രീതിയും നമ്മൾ ആർഗ്യൂ ചെയ്യുന്ന രീതിയും മാറും. And
most people are reacting. They're not responding.
Yeah.
On social media, they're reacting. It's a knee-jerk response. You see that comment, and that comment does something to you.
You're triggered.
And then you're triggered, and then you respond to that comment. You are not seeing the person behind that comment or what might have driven that. Yeah, I mean, what you said is correct.
So the group is the place where we have more detailed conversations. That's where the actual debates happen. Right. So a lot of the culture around PinkLungi is built on that WhatsApp group.
The core team.
Recently, like I think yesterday, before, there was this reel going around by this creator who had put up this video. He's on a flight, Air India flight, and he's just landed in Bombay. I don't know if you guys have seen it. He's wearing, and he's gotten into this argument with this lady sitting behind him. He's recording this lady, And in the video, she is insisting that he speak in Marathi because he's landing in Bombay. Okay. This is inside an Air India flight landing in Bombay, right? And the entire conversation is in Hindi, but she's insisting that he speak in Marathi. And she's wearing a t-shirt which says Hyundai. Okay, it looks like one of those official company t-shirts. People are sharing it stating like, what the hell, like, this is our problem as a country, you know, people are insisting that, you know, like, how can you insist like this when you're on a flight to Mumbai? How can you insist that only people who speak Marathi can only come to Maharashtra or like Mumbai and all that kind of stuff? For me, the whole thing felt a little odd. Like, why would a random stranger on a flight just randomly insist somebody start speaking some language? Like, I felt that there were parts of that conversation which were omitted before that recording took place.
It's taken out of context.
Yeah, it was taken out. Like, I have a feeling something was said to trigger that sort of a response from that woman, right? And she's wearing what looked like a company T-shirt from a Korean car manufacturer. She's in an Air India flight landing in Mumbai. Why would you randomly insist? Like, how often do you get into a flight and say, like, to some stranger, like, start speaking in Malayalam? Like, how often does that happen? So I feel like the whole thing, like, people like that lacked that nuance, that thought process to understand that, like, this something's off about this clip.
But that's throughout. So the problem is, even when you have a full-length video, people only pick up one line or one sentence and talk about it. Like, I feel with social media, with Reels and TikTok, that attention span korneyonde, our ability to arrive at those analytical judgments have also changed.
Okay.
So like you said, you thought of that thing, right? You know, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് ആൾക്കാർ അത്രയ്ക്ക് ആലോചിക്കാനുള്ള സമയം സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല because they want to be spoon-fed information. So if that creator said, oh, why is this, if you put this post, ഇപ്പം ഇട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആൾക്കാരുടെ തലയിൽ ഇത് വരും, അത് കറക്റ്റ് ആണല്ലോ, ഇതെന്താ ഉണ്ടാവാത്തതെന്ന്. പക്ഷെ ഇത് ശരിക്ക് നമ്മൾ ഓരോരുത്തരും ഇത് ആലോചിക്കണം, അതിനുള്ള കപ്പാസിറ്റി ഉണ്ടാക്കണം. One of the things that we want to do with PinkLungi is for people, our followers, to develop that, you know, questioning mentality.
Yeah, actually, recently when we put up a post, a lot of the arguments were because they didn't read the entire slide.
Yeah,
they were just they were making their own judgments based on, like, say, the second slide.
Right.
So that's the issue. Like, read through the whole thing, then you'll understand where we're coming from, why we're questioning it.
Just read the heading.
Read the heading.
Exactly. Read the heading. They assume
and we have to make sure that the heading is like that, so that people read
that's
it.
how people read it.
So the poster, it was basically
Right to
will the right to disconnect affect investments in Kerala?
I read that. It's a very interesting post, by the way.
ആ question, പക്ഷെ എൻഡിൽ ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് എന്താ, എൻഡിൽ എത്തുമ്പോഴേക്കും the thing is, there's nothing wrong with the bill. The thing is, there are other problems that we have to solve. Like, പക്ഷെ ആൾക്കാർ പകുതി വഴിയിൽ, oh, you're saying this, you're against this thing,
boss,
and, you're a boss.
I've literally had a friend share that post with me, like, not your article, but the right to disconnect bill. He shared with me yesterday morning, saying like, best. ഇവിടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോൾ എന്ത് ഡിസ്കണക്ട്, ഇവിടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജോലിയൊന്നും ഇല്ലല്ലോ ഡിസ്കണക്ട് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്.
So the post basically came from a conversation I had with a friend the day before. So ജിമ്മിൽ നിന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി ഈ ഫ്രണ്ട് ഞാനിങ്ങനെ സംസാരിച്ചിരിക്കായിരുന്നു, and he was like, ഇത് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് കിട്ടില്ല. So I went home. ഈ 3 മണി വരെ I was sitting and digging through information, trying to distill my thoughts, finding out, you know, idano, like, how it has affected France, the countries in Europe where this exists. Because personally, I genuinely believe in work-life balance. Because in the office, like I said, it used to be 8 hours working on it. And I have noticed that, you know, when you enforce that 8-hour policy only, where people are completely disconnected after work, the productivity does go up. Not just because, you know, it's not some mystical thing. It's that, you know, their loyalty to you is very different. That they realize that you consider them as a person, that you respect their autonomy, you respect their personal life. Because their loyalty to you is different, the way they work for you is very different. Right. So ഇതെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ഇതിലേക്ക് പോയത്, because I was pro bill only. പക്ഷെ it does make sense, right? You know, will it affect എന്നുള്ളത് എനിക്കൊന്ന് find out ചെയ്യണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
Bro, like, if you work, when I was in EY and KPMG, I was working offshore for basically my onshore companies, clients were either Italy. I was seconding the Italy team initially, then I was doing for Spain, and then I was doing for London. Italy, especially during that summertime, bro, their office is shut. They
yeah,
go
yeah.
on a break.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even during the work hours, France, after a particular time, you're not going to get a response.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
busy out drinking
അതെ
wine.
അതെ yeah even our UK office was like that. ക്രിസ്മസ് സമയത്ത് ഒറ്റണത് നോക്കണ്ട
Yeah.
5 മണി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ അവർ
And here, because we are back end,
Yeah.
they're like, you're being billed by the hour. You need to find work from the other team. So where do we go? Either the Indian team or we go to the US team. Because US is another country which is like India, which is working 24/7.
Yeah, yeah.
They're constantly churning out. But what you said is absolutely correct. Like there is a certain truth to, like we do as a state, we do struggle to get investment,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and because you guys, and you also, I'm assuming like me, like when you travel, you see other countries,
Yeah.
and then you come back,
Yeah.
and you're like, why can't we have this back home?
and the thing is potential in there. It's not that we don't have it.
Yeah, and
It's like-
like, doesn't that irritate you? Like,
Yeah.
in your opinion, like, and this is something I firmly believe, right? Probably a bit controversial, but Kerala is very unique on a lot of aspects compared to the rest of the country, right? I don't know if India can become like China or the US or the next big superpower because we got plenty of issues of our own, right? At least I know for a fact that Kerala, if the right people came to power and if the right things were put in place, we have the ability to become much more progressive, maybe like a Singapore.
yeah yeah
We totally can become that.
yeah
In your opinion, like, what changes have to be made?
oh
Oh.
Just,
what
no, just
changes-
superficially. You're not a
See,
politician. You're not a
yeah.
political analyst. You're not a thing like.
See, more than anything, I feel like our age group, right? You know, people who are in late 20s to mid 40s. So people who've gone out, who've worked outside, who've kind of, you know, had a good career, they should come back and take a risk and start things here.
Start things here,
That's the real way. Because ബാക്കിയുള്ളതൊക്കെ നോക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ it has to start with us. So one of the reasons, one of our core things about PinkLungi is we want to facilitate that environment here. We want to be the voice of that environment.
Right.
So whatever we are doing is to that end goal. So ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ പണ്ട് പറയുന്നത് we want to be, so എല്ലാവരും സിലിക്കൺ വാലി പറയും നമ്മൾ എമറൽഡ് വാലി ആണ്. Like we don't want to cause environmental disasters ഇങ്ങനെ ഫോറസ്റ്റ് വെട്ടി നിർത്തിയിട്ടൊന്നല്ല. പക്ഷെ there is a sustainable way to be the point of change. And we were at one point, like we were discussing earlier, like Muziris naga parayumbo, it's that Eldorado time ആയിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ.
Right.
And we can always, it's not lost. We're still there. We are in a very we are in a very opportune moment in history where we've got these people who've got experience outside. ഇവിടെ ലിറ്ററസി റേറ്റും ഇവിടുത്തെ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷനും ഇത്ര സ്ട്രോങ് ആണ്. സോ ദർ ഈസ് എൻ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി ഫോർ അസ് ടു റിയലി ഗ്രോ ആൻഡ് boom in to be the change, and for India to be the change, if we start off only, we can basically spread that and be that.
Right.
And that I feel is slowly being eroded away because of our this thing only. നമ്മളതിൽ ഒരു ഫോക്കസ് ഇല്ലാണ്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് തോന്നുന്നത്.
And then there is a huge brain drain that's happening. A lot of youngsters are going outside mainly because of culture. It's not because they don't want to stay in Kerala. It's because it's better in, say, a Bangalore or a Chennai or even a Bombay. The culture is
things have started
different.
changing. It's not that,
Is it genuinely better?
Better in the sense, like for example, something as basic as me wearing the shorts
Right.
and walking down the street, not in Kochi, I'm not saying Kochi, in Thrissur or some other place. I can never wear this comfortably.
Like, has someone questioned you, or like the staring? I get it.
Yeah.
But the staring is
Godari has had a very bad experience.
In
Was it?
Guru.
Okay.
I was just riding my scooter one day just to take the scooter out, and one guy was following me. So I stopped and I asked him, "What are you doing? Why are you following me?" So he told me that if you wear shorts like this, I will follow you. And appo thanne,
Is he
and
an older fellow or young chap?
young chap. And then so it hits you at that point. Your body shivers. You don't know what to do. So yeah, a lot of even staring also makes you feel really uncomfortable. You don't see that in metropolitan cities like Bombay and Bangalore. In fact, Bombay, when we were dating, I would go to visit him. At 12 in the night, I could take the train local train, and I could easily and comfortably go because I know not a single soul will come and touch me. Because it was that confidence that you have, you don't get that in Kerala. So that's just one aspect of culture.
Okay.
Then another aspect of culture is entertainment. I feel like one of the main cultures we had in Bombay is after work we would just go out for a drink, or maybe go out to have food, or maybe go to a pub and just what do you say, give out all the
just went
office
out.
went out,
Chill.
chill. That's not,
The
I
thing is,
don't
it's
think.
there in say Kochi like in
It's changing now.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
changing.
actually
Yeah,
It's
see
changing.
slowly
It's changing. That's the thing. So it has to change.
നമ്മള് കൊണ്ടുവരണം.
നമ്മളുടെ ആൾക്കാർ തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പോഴാണ്, നമ്മുടെ ഏജ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിലുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പോഴാണ് that change slowly comes. So my friends in Thrissur usually tell us, നിങ്ങൾ PinkLungi നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വലുത് ഓർഗനൈസ് ചെയ്തോടെ ഇവിടെ, because we have nothing to do. So a lot of my friends have come down and they've basically they're sitting at home like us and they're doing their own thing. പക്ഷെ they're like ഇവിടെ vibe ചെയ്യാനൊന്നുമില്ല, അതിന് they have to go to Kochi.
Kochi, yeah.
And so if there's something, people who stay in Thrissur do things in Thrissur. So അങ്ങനത്തെ changes വരണം. So that's when we'll basically evolve into this ecosystem.
I also think it's a bit of a like a chicken and egg kind of a situation. Like, so I have cousins who are like 24, 25, and they are at that that very weird phase where like most men go through, like, I don't know what to do with life kind of thing, like
Quarter life crisis.
yeah, quarter life crisis. Yeah, you could call it that. Because they've passed out of college, a lot of their friends who have stronger roots or who had plans, like most of the women they know, girls are a lot more sorted, especially when they're studying in college, right? They either pass out and then they go immediately to the country they want to study. They're stuck. If you ask them, they're like, they want to get out of Kerala. Somehow they want to get, where do you want to go? No idea. What do you want to do? No idea. But unfortunately, like if you look, the employment and the education system situation abroad is quite precarious right now.
Yeah.
Like Indians are getting shat on plenty abroad. A lot of countries don't want Indian students, or they don't want Indian, unless you're like so super qualified and so niche, then only they're going to take you, or like so professionally qualified. The days in which a BCom can just aram se go to London and find a job, that's
It's no longer
it's
there.
kind of gone. So but they have that ingrained mentality, which is like പണ്ട് മുതലേ കേരളത്തിലുള്ള that mentality, like ജോലി കിട്ടിയ ഇനി എങ്ങോട്ടെങ്കിലും പോകണം, ദാസനം വിജയൻ എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും ഗൾഫിൽ പോകണം, എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും മദ്രസ ഇവിടെ ജോലിയില്ല. Like you said, it is a double-edged sword. Like the onus is on us to create something here, but that mentality also has to change a little, right?
It will take time. It's not that mentality. It's because of decades of conditioning, no? Like നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് ആൾക്കാർ പുറത്തു പോകാൻ തുടങ്ങി. So then it became a status thing that my son is studying abroad എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് my son is working abroad was a status symbol. അത് മാറി വരണമെങ്കിൽ it takes time. So the other thing can happen faster than this.
Yeah.
But I think it's very interesting also now that we've lived in Kerala for the past 5 years or 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. When we go to cities like Bangalore or Bombay, I find it too congested now. I can't imagine living there anymore.
You guys moved back because of COVID?
Yeah,
or?
we moved
Yeah,
back
yeah.
because
So
of COVID. Yeah.
my office went work from home, and they realized that എന്തിനാ വെറുതെ rent കൊടുക്കണം. So let's
So a lot of people did that.
Yeah. And so
Same.
I went home. Everybody came home, and then I was like, very comfortable life. Initially, ഒരു first year ഒക്കെ ഭയങ്കര chill ആയിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ the problems, like I said, started happening. The work timings was completely off.
Yeah.
But what about a drastic transition, no? From Bombay all the way to Guruvayur?
But I grew up here. No, I grew up here.
But for you?
Yeah,
No, for me it was very tough because right after school I went to Hyderabad, then I moved to Bombay. I studied and I worked there. So it was freedom for me technically. Like I could like grow, and I was so thankful for my mother to like, she just told me, just go, it's okay, go. Don't study here, just go. So that growth, me going to another country on my another state on my own, studying, doing everything on my own, being independent, made me the person I am today. But if I had stayed in Kerala, that wouldn't have been the situation. No.
Actually, my wife faced a very similar thing. After like 2018, we moved back to Cochin. But she spent all her life in Bangalore before that, and then she was in
Oh.
Kuwait, and so she was so used to that Bangalore life, and she moved to. Compared to moving to Guruvayur, Cochin would have still been
I
little
swear.
progressive. Although like that growth in Cochin, I've seen in like the last 2-3 years.
Right, right.
There's a huge mentality shift happening over here. Now there's
Yeah.
like events happening all the
All the
time over here.
Yeah.
It is not the case,
the
yeah.
that's the shift that will eventually lead to the ecosystem getting better.
Yeah.
Because our brain drain കുറച്ചുകൂടി കുറയ്ക്കാൻ പറ്റും. We have a lot of startups coming up. We've got a lot of people trying to do good in Kerala. So eventually we'll get there. പക്ഷേ it's a continuous process. It's an infinite game. It's not something that ഒരു T20 match പോലെയല്ല 10 ഓവറിൽ കഴിയുമെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. It takes time.
I just read this interesting thing about, I don't know who said it, why India will not cross China, will not overtake China, is because Indians go abroad to study, to get a job and settle there. Chinese go abroad to study, to come back and do something here.
Yeah.
They get that knowledge and come back and do something. The number of Chinese settling abroad versus Indian settling abroad is a lot lesser. For Indians, it's about going there. But for Chinese, it's like go there, do this, come back, and like my mom recently, she had gone to the Himalayas, the Himalayan base camp, like last year. So she went via Tibet. Right? So that's not the Nepal side, the Chinese side. She was just telling me like what they've built up over there. It is just
Insane.
Crazy, yeah.
insane. Like the Western propaganda can say whatever they want. I mean, the Western media vilifies somebody. They need a villain every decade.
Yeah.
Right? So before Russia, now they're vilifying China. For them, it's fine. But like the way China is not competing with the rest of the world, they're competing with themselves. If BYD is making a new car, they're like, how can we improve this car from the last car we built? They're not looking at what Tesla is building.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal, and you need to understand that. Like, I think that change in mentality, that the whole need of like എനിക്ക് എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും ഇവിടുന്ന് പോണം.
അതെന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ചൈനയിൽ തിരിച്ചു വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ they know that there's something that they'll get from coming back. They're not escape ചെയ്യാനല്ലോ. They get something from there and they come back because there's something China has to offer. And we also have things to offer. Like കേരളത്തിൽ there is like ശുദ്ധവായു ഈ ബോംബെയിൽ പോയി താമസിക്കുന്നതിനേക്കാളും ഭേദം ഇവിടുന്നാണ്. And especially after COVID, especially because we know we can work from home and work from home. So അങ്ങനത്തെ opportunities leverage ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ there's a lot. It need not be just setting up a business here. Just coming and living back here itself is a move in that direction.
But then in China also, that it's a whole different culture in terms of teaching your kids. They teach their kids differently. Like recently I saw a reel where this guy is out in front of a school at 10 p.m. in the night, and he shows all the cars that are parked there, all the parents' cars, to pick up their children at 10 o'clock in the night. So you can imagine how much they're drilled to study, to improve. So I think the culture differs. And then we have had friends who study in China for medicine and all. The technology there, the advanced technology that they have, it's crazy.
No,
How
so
much?
he was saying that ഇവിടെ ഒരു ബാച്ചിന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഒരു കഡാവർ അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടാവുക പഠിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി. There that is not an issue. They make sure that ഒന്നുമില്ലെങ്കിൽ പന്നിയുടെ ബോഡി ഉണ്ടാവും for them to dissect and practice. And that that by final year there is a lot of stuff that is taught which നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ അഡ്വാൻസ് കോഴ്സസ് ആയിട്ട് പോണ സാധനങ്ങൾ അവിടെ robotics medicine and all that is taught at a very early stage there. And that gives them a lot more exposure than medicine here. So that's just one thing that so he was basically saying the value for money is much higher when I go and study in China.
Also coming back to the technology and the thing that you mentioned, like, see, one of our faults, because I work in healthcare, one thing which I notice is, for example, if you have a company manufacturing, say, gloves, right, or sanitizers over here, right, they will have two sets of products. One is for local use, one is export quality.
Right.
Why?
Why the
Like,
difference? It's the same with-
why can't you sell that good one over here?
Because they'll have to sell it at the cost which Indians can't afford.
Yeah, exactly. Now, our fundamental problem, India, is we are competing on cost. Now, the problem with competing on cost is you're only as
Quality.
fancy till the next cheaper guy comes. If somebody comes, like if Nigeria comes tomorrow and says like we can do all of this for half the price, everyone's going to leave from here.
Yeah.
But if you make good products, they won't leave. So again, a mentality thing. Of course, our population is.
Especially, this is not something that is completely alien. The culture alien alive. Actually, you look at. I remember reading somewhere about the African bike market.
Right.
So it is completely dominated by Indian manufacturers.
Right.
I think TVS and Bajaj, primarily because China went in with cheap bikes, two-stroke, four-stroke bikes, and they did not like it because it was cheap. Japanese bikes were very expensive, and Indian bikes occupied that niche there, which is quality-wise they were good, but they were not that expensive.
Right.
So it's not a concept that is alien to us. That know, quality.
There are
matters
some
a little
people
bit.
who are trying to do, like Mahindra. I think as a company is trying to do some good. Tata is trying to do some good. But generally, there is a mentality of like cost.
Yeah.
How can you do something for cheaper? How cheaper? That's a very the whole Indians when you go shopping also like
bargain.
The thing is, നമ്മള് bargain ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മളെപ്പോഴും cheapest option ആണല്ലോ നോക്കുക. അത് it could also come from a generational trauma because colonization തൊട്ടിട്ട് we've had such drain of wealth. Money is so precious to us that we want to save every this thing.
It's a whole middle class.
Yeah, it's a middle class mindset, and adu maran again.
China also was similar, bro. Like both
China
India and China at one point. In fact, we were better than China at one point.
The explosion in wealth that they have had in the past 2 decades is unfathomable.
Right.
And so the kind of spending power that they have now, we can aspire to get there. Appo ee prashangalakku ninnekum. Pandu I remember growing up in a time when made in China is it was a bad thing. You didn't buy it because of because you didn't buy a made in China product because you were patriotic. It was basically because it was a bad product. Adu vaangittu karilla. You can buy it if you are thinking of a low cost product nulla reethiyilirunnu.
Right.
But they've been able to sort of change that, right? BYD cars ഒക്കെ ഇപ്പോൾ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ they look so good.
The whole made in XYZ moniker that you get is also very Western propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, it's because like for a good part, America decides who the good guys, who the bad guys. Because Western media is primarily dominated by United States and their narrative, right? They tried to do this with Japanese cars a while back because Japanese cars entered Detroit and it kicked American car manufacturing in the ass, and they haven't recovered from it still, and really went down. And for a while, they did brand Japanese cars as bad. But
I think they branded them as feminine
or whatever. They try to vilify the product, and the whole like Chinese product is bad. Yeah, granted, China does make it cheaper, but that does not necessarily mean it's a bad product. That I think is a product of narrative.
And it's something that they've been able to overcome also.
Yeah.
With time, they've been able to overcome that. Again, they've played the long game. They play a long game. Namlum, we also have to play that long game. Yeah.
Okay. Paramasundari, Kerala stories. Go.
Okay, so basically the question is which one do we dislike more, right?
You could say which is worse, which do you dislike more? What is your opinion on the whole thing?
Paramasundari is like Chennai Express. It falls under the same category. It's a cringe category. You watch it to cringe.
Right.
He was like, let's watch it one day just to hate on it.
Hate on it. But the other thing is it's like
It's like
എഴുതിത്തള്ള ശരി കച്ചറ പാടാണ് പക്ഷെ it does have negative repercussions that people perceive Malayalis that way. അങ്ങനത്തെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുണ്ട് പക്ഷെ Kerala story I feel is more toxic because it sets in motion a set of dominoes which not only paints Malayalis in Kerala in a bad light, it sets the wrong precedent because movies like that will be successful na alkarku ariyam, so they'll make more shitty movies like that. The other thing is that people have the wrong understanding of the culture in Kerala, the problems that may or may not exist in Kerala, അതിൻ്റെ ഡെപ്ത് എത്രയാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാണ്ട് ആൾക്കാർ ഓരോന്ന് പറയും. That gets cited as, evidence later on that, at some point Kerala story stops being fictional and it starts being the absolute truth. It's basically a nugget of truth that has been taken and blown out of proportions. But people now will, 5
Associate.
years down the line when there's the next election,
They will use it as a point of reference because
ഇത് Wikipedia പോലെയോ, Wikipedia കൂടെയല്ല, it will be like, some thing from a scientific journal എടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള പോലെയുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് ഇവർ സംസാരിക്കേണ്ടത് അതിനെ കുറിച്ച്.
And you won't, if you just type Kerala story on Google, the entire search page is going to be about this film.
about the film.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Like, there is no counter, a good side of. So the thing is, you bring out good stories to overcome the search algorithm. The algorithm is now for Kerala story. Kerala story, you movie. Kerala story, movie.
So one of the things, one of our series is Kerala Stories എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ സീരീസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, which is basically about brands from Kerala that are going global, that are trying to make a difference in the world.
Or people.
Yeah, or people. So that is so that at some point we are hoping that PinkLungi is so big that this, when people search Kerala story, that pops up and not the shit film.
Well, that's a very noble. That's a very noble goal.
എന്താ പറയുക, ഞങ്ങളുടെ ambition and aspirations are very, എന്താ പറയുക, ആൾക്കാർ വിഡ്ഢിത്തരാണ്, മണ്ടത്തരാണ്, ഭയങ്കര ഡ്രീമർ ആണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ that's what we want to try and do, because we want to believe in absolute എന്താ പറയുക, grand visions, so that you aim for the stars so you reach the top of the stairs എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the reasons why I think like what we were discussing earlier, like especially my travels, I've noticed, like especially among other Indians from other states, Kerala is still very much an enigma. Right? A lot of them cluster the whole of South India as one.
Not the way, they don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand the nuances of the different states are different. But even then, the ones who know, for them Kerala is very different. They get such conflicted ideas and like, you guys eat beef. How can you eat beef? How can a mosque sit next to a church? How can that happen? How can this happen? And then people come travel here and they go back and like, nobody's killing anyone over there. It's pretty peaceful. How? Why? So it is a state of of enigmas to a lot of people outside. Like, why do you think that is? Like, why is there such a?
I think that is also slowly changing because of.
I think it's primarily changing because of movies.
Yeah, Malayalam cinema.
Through Malayalam cinema is going pan India, and through that people are seeing India in a different, in Kerala in a different light. Why that exists, why that perception exists, is because there are vested interests in making Kerala look that way, right? Because
politically,
politically
it makes
there are
sense.
vested interests to making Kerala look like it's a Hindu katre mein hai, ഇവിടേക്ക് കാണിക്കുന്നത് ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ഇതാണല്ലോ. സോ അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇവിടെ ചേഞ്ച് വരുത്താൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ആൻഡ് ബിക്കോസ് that narrative has to exist, Kerala is portrayed in certain ways.
This usually comes up during the elections also.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Election, I think it is existing
I don't
throughout.
know if you guys saw, like, recently Hindu had put up an article saying Kerala is the first state that's going to declare, like, it's not, there is no abject poverty. It's
That is
eradicated abject poverty, right?
Yeah.
And you should see the comment section.
I think another issue, I was just telling Govindan that, one actor had mentioned that Kerala has a good PR team.
Right.
It says a lot of things, but in reality, it does not follow through. It like if you say, so what I've noticed is the Kerala government says that we are going to become, we are going to release, but that's
Let's take the right to disconnect bill. Right. Bill has not been passed
yet.
Yeah.
It's just
still
saying
under
it is,
consideration.
but still there's a lot of PR. Everybody's
PR,
talking. Everybody's
yeah,
so
we're all
proud
talking
of
about
it.
it, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's going to follow up on it in like 3 months. Everyone's going to forget about it.
If it gets passed, then it's a big thing. But before it gets passed, only we debate and the objective is achieved.
I'll tell you one example. So we had Kerala government partnered with the some ministry to release a bottle, like a eco-friendly bottle, so that we can reduce plastic bottles. But then it was just saying that they might release it. So I was like, okay, this is a good topic, we should definitely talk about. I made a video, it got millions of views, but then after that, where is the bottle?
Yeah.
It's still not out. Where is it?
8 മാസം കണ്ടു തോന്നുന്നു.
Yeah, still not out. So that's what Kerala is a good PR team.
Good PR team.
Just that.
പക്ഷേ the thing is, this is two sides of the coin basically.
Yeah.
Kerala is a good PR team, that is one thing. പക്ഷേ മറ്റേ side നിന്ന് it's trying to bottle it down also.
Yeah.
It's just two opposing forces. As Malayalis, we should see through both. You know, we should be able to. So one of the problems that I feel we have is that we are so engrossed with our socioeconomic indexes show that we are top tier.
Happiest
we are
state
better than the US. Adili we are happy. But yes, that is one side of the equation. But there are things that we have to work on, right? There are like നമ്മുടെ ഈ സോ കോൾഡ് ലിബറൽ ആൻഡ് ഓപ്പൺ സൊസൈറ്റി ഇസ് നോട്ട് ലിബറൽ ആൻഡ് ഓപ്പൺ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ ടൈം. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് സംതിങ് ദാറ്റ് വി ഹാവ് ടു വർക്ക് ഓൺ. We have to work on our the economic ecosystem that we have here. We have to build that. We have to work on that. We still have vestiges of the USSR mindset.
Yeah,
where you know,
absolutely.
where like Modalali no arnendinge Shatrua. There is no, you cannot even fathom a dimension where the Modalali and the
Can work hand in
Modalali,
hand, yeah.
Tolali, you know, I feel that they're very slur kind of terms. You are an employer and employee should work together, right? I feel it's a vestige of a ഈ വെസ്റ്റേൺ പ്രൊപ്പഗാൻഡയുടെ വെസ്റ്റേജ് പോലെയാണ് ഇത്. കമ്മ്യൂണിസ്റ്റ് പ്രൊപ്പഗാൻഡയുടെ വെസ്റ്റേജ് ആണ്. അതിന്ന് നമ്മൾ മാറിയിട്ട് വി ഷുഡ് ലിവ് ഇൻ ദ മോഡേൺ വേൾഡ്. വി ഷുഡ് തിങ്ക് ഡിഫറെന്റ്ലി. ആൻഡ് അത് ഇതുവരെയ്ക്കും പറ്റിയിട്ടില്ല. ആൻഡ് വി ആർ, ഇതൊക്കെ ഞാൻ പറയണേന് ഈ ഇഫ് യു പുട്ട് ദിസ് ആസ് എ റീൽ യു വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് trash against me for sure for saying
No,
it.
it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah, because we are not ready to accept our flaws, and that's a real problem. And idhu karanana, so one of the other things why, you know, people have, so I don't think people have negative impression alla. I feel that people like spitting on us. So inki ettum koodal thoniyada Wayanad landslide undayappo,
Right.
if you in the comment section I read a lot of comments, okay, because I feel like
How?
human psychology
How?
kandupidikan
Like I go there for like 4 lines and I'm like, yo, no, done.
so
So much negativity.
negativity ആണ്. പക്ഷെ I like trying to dig and understand why this exists. So in ആൾക്കാര് 100% literacy sir, other this is what you get for eating
So
beef.
some of the comments are like, this serves them right for eating beef.
Yeah,
Right,
അതന്നെ,
right,
അതന്നെ.
right. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus
പക്ഷെ
Christ, man.
the thing is, ഇത് ഈ സെന്റിമെന്റ് എവിടുന്നാ വരുന്നതാണ്. Like why do they feel that way? So little bit of it is also because we the way we tout our wins, the way we behave with other this thing is like, you know, nammal superior aanulloru
We do that.
അത് കാരണം people are waiting for that time when we stumble so that, you know, they can come and hit us.
In fact, maybe it's because of the geography, maybe it's because of the socio-economic thing and all that. You know, but every time there is a pan-India issue, and especially recently during the war, like our engagement with Pakistan, Kerala has always been like a little away from all this. Like regardless of whatever happens up north, Malus don't care. Because first of all, we're like far away from the border, right? We're next to the ocean. And maybe because of the Western Ghats, things never crossed the mountain and got here. It's like we don't celebrate Diwali as much as the others, what we were saying earlier, right? So we have this sort of detached attitude with the rest of the country, much to our detriment. So even from their point of view,
Same thing, no, ആൾക്കാർ Kerala should be a separate country എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ആൾക്കാർ പറയാറില്ലേ.
It doesn't make sense.
It's like, see, there are benefits of being part of this union. That നമ്മളൊരു ആർമി ഇവിടെ മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കിയാൽ
we cannot survive as a
Yeah,
separate
we
country.
cannot
I think the only state, in my opinion, who can probably one of the few states who can survive as a separate country, maybe Tamil Nadu can,
Yeah,
maybe
probably,
Maharashtra can.
yeah.
But I mean, they're big enough.
But still, you know, it doesn't make economic sense. The
doesn't.
trade-off for being a separate country is very, you know, it's a zero. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not a win-win.
Yeah, it's not. But this separatist, it's not a separatist, I would say this aloof mentality, which a lot of, like you said earlier, they do harbor a sense of our
Superiority
movies are
complex.
better.
Yeah.
Our movies are better. Which is true.
Yeah, to a great extent, yes. Like but there are other states also producing good movies. Just that we have, I think, my theory is that, you know, now the 2000s ഞാൻ മലയാള സിനിമ കുറച്ചു കാലം കാണുന്നത് നിർത്തി. Because we are producing really shitty
Oh my God.
Adinna that, and it's like you said, cyclical. You know, you had good movies and then you had shit, and now you have the karanam you have good movies coming up because there was a set of creators who want to go back to the heydays of Malayalam cinema and come up with good movies.
Right.
And they're using the stars, and they're using the knowledge that they have acquired Malayalam cinema has over the years to create good movies. So that's what's happening now. പക്ഷെ അതും പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ലൈക്ക് വി ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് ടേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഫോർ ഗ്രാൻറ്റഡ് ദാറ്റ് ആർ മൂവീസ് വിൽ ഓൾവേസ് ബി ഗുഡ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ്സ് വെൻ മീഡിയോക്രിറ്റി സെറ്റ്സ് ഇറ്റ്. That's when we'll have so one of the things I was telling her yesterday was that when you have so you have a lot of indie singers coming up, right? So once they see that one hit ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ അവരുടെ പാട്ടുകൾ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ചിലവരുടെയൊക്കെ പാട്ടുകൾ it starts becoming very similar, sounding very similar. And it's because
it's not even typecast. It's like ഇതില്ല വിലയില്ല ഒന്നാമത് for Indian singers from the producers. When you produce a hit song, this is a manager who told me this, that you need to continuously commercially make that song so popular no matter how many songs you make, so that you can be part of the industry. Otherwise you're an outcast, you're an indie singer. മൂവീസിലേക്ക് വരാണെങ്കിൽ you have to keep up with that pace. We don't want to name people, but it does. If you just
with movies also I feel that's slowly setting in, we are having more mediocre movies coming out, and because it's like the template to work, so let's try the same template. So you will have again, let's not name names, politically correct movies coming out, because Malayalis like politically correct things, right? So politically correct movies coming out,
but
and because it's correct doesn't mean it's a
good movie.
And initially aina nalloru kittum wave kittum, പക്ഷെ OTT il varumbekkum like people start trash talking it.
What do you think of the recent re-releases?
Movies. I was just,
I'm going to get shat on by Lalitan fans probably, but
Lalitan, I feel like overall I think we just എന്തിനാ ചെയ്യണം എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവണില്ല. Like
no, എന്തിനാ ചെയ്യണം for the producers want to earn money, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, because ഇതിപ്പോ theatre
it's just that you go to the theater, have fun. Maybe it's fun because you're with your vibe.
Prabhu re-release, people are dancing in the theaters and all that. Like it is.
I understand that. I understand the sentiment. Then you put up a reel, it goes viral. The same cycle. But
it's too many.
But then
re-releases.
There is a section of people who actually are die-hard fans of actors like Mohanlal and Mammootty. So you would want to go, you would want to be a part of that culture. So understandable. There's no hate. Just that we personally we'd rather watch it on YouTube while eating choru.
Yeah. But they also like, it kind of becomes a little more festive when it's like a release. People can all come together and book out or go to a theater. And I suppose
It
it's for the fans, and the producers benefit from it. That's it.
Right.
But personally, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is a shortcut. It's like me reposting a blockbuster from the past. It works. I know it will work. 1 million views മുമ്പ് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പൊ അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഒരു 20K views എങ്കിലും കിട്ടും എനിക്കറിയാം. പക്ഷെ it's a shortcut, right? I find that ആ എഫേർട്ടും ഇതൊക്കെ it can be used differently. That personally I would spend that money on something else, watching a new movie, a new experience. So it's a very personal opinion.
But as a creator, as a producer, or a distributor, വലിയ effort ഒന്നുമില്ല. Basically, it's a very easy crack.
Yeah, it's a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a shortcut. Have you guys have you felt like an impactful change like your channel has made? And I was just started doing this.
So apart from entertainment, we've also wanted to talk about stories of people, like we mentioned. We wanted to talk about the businesses that they've started, or the changes that they have brought to other people's lives. So I like doing those kind of stories. Right. So while his forte is entertainment and opinion pieces, mine is more talking about stories of people, of their businesses. So one is a Ratnam teacher story where she is handicapped, but she creates artificial breasts for women and she hand stitches them because she wants to create an impact. And not only that, she also makes chocolates all by herself, okay, despite being handicapped. She's like, I have to do this because one, I want to remain independent at this age, but I don't want to remain idle. I still want to continue working. So that was one. Then another person. So there are these young chaps from Malappuram. They started this brand called Banana. ബോൾ കെ സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് ബേസിക്കലി ലൈക്ക് അവരുടെ ഒരു ഡെലിക്കസി ഉണ്ട് ഒരു പഴം what do you say, sun-dry ചെയ്തിട്ട് that's the delicacy of it. It turns sweet and chewy. Right. So what they do is they അവർ അത് modernize ചെയ്തു, which is they put caramel on top, made it more like a brittle version of it. So it's completely new, no? Like it would be so great if you got to know about it, or if my friend got to know about it. So sharing stories like that.
Primary thing is we, like I said, we want to be this engine for change in Kerala. Mm-hmm. Is also like initially when brands are starting out, they need a push to the rest of the Kerala audience. Right. So our audience is also global. So one fun this thing was Malayali beer. They got us that beer from Poland. We somehow, like our friend through Trishur, we went and collected it and we made a video, and people got to know about it because of that. And I'm hoping that a lot of Malayalis who had access to it went and tried it out. So angantha story we want to bring out so that more people try out, and we try to make sure that the product is good, and if the product is good, it is automatically word of mouth, and they get more sales and things start looking good for the business. That's basically what we want to try and do with our platform, to offer a stepping stone for brands to reach out to more Malayalis.
Okay. Where do you guys see this channel? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see?
Any particular goal that you want to achieve?
I think it's personal, but I don't know about go with it. But for me, it's not just building PinkLungi. PinkLungi is like just what do you say, a building. I'm just imagining it as a building, not literally, but just a building that's going to fuel my different passion, which is I like to travel, but not travel in the sense like I like to go on vacations. No, I like to go to a place, stay there for like months. No, months in the sense, say 2 months, 1 month, and learn a skill from that particular country. Like now that we both learn boxing, so I would love to go to Thailand, stay there for a month and learn Muay Thai. So those kind of passions. So I want to fuel that. That is my goal. PinkLungi is not my goal. PinkLungi will fuel that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have very different things. My thing is, so I'm obsessed oru santhil kari kayna. So for me, PinkLungi is this thing that I want to. It's all about it. It's all revolving around it. Okay. So I want PinkLungi to be a proper. So you were saying like you expected us to be like Brute. We want to be that.
Brute, yeah.
That Brute for Malayalis. Adana inke vendathu. And it not only is just an Instagram page. I want to do full-length documentaries. So there are these topics that I want to cover. Like for example, I have a great grand uncle who died in First World War. Right. So I want to do a documentary where I document the story of Indian soldiers who fought in the First World War, and through that, basically, it's a boy's journey to find where his great grand uncle died. So adu kandupidikkanulla oru journey, and there are those stories are not talked about as much. I feel. And
also, I feel like in terms of PinkLungi's vision, we have a lot of ideas, right? We just don't have the space or the monetary. What do you say?
The thing is, we have not invested our time and thinking into creating a business out of it. It's a passion. So we are slowly, also because we've got people telling us like, do it.
So I also want to change the way people see entertainment interviews. So you go, if there's promotions happening for movies, generally in Malayalam cinema, it's these same channels that do the same questions in the same setup. That's something that I really want to change, because I feel like there's so much potential. These actors, they're so used to these mundane type of formats. I feel like if you give them something new, there will be they'll be one, interested, and secondly, people would see, okay, inganum cheyam pettum. Like there will be a different kind of interviews.
To be honest, like I might get a lot of flack for this, and yes, the little bit of that Malayali superiority might creep through. But you'd be surprised at how mundane most actors are.
Yes, I agree.
Like,
but
they are not necessarily rocket scientists.
I'll-
Corey Wheeler,
But see,
I'll
it's
tell
not,
you that
yeah.
it's a difference
a
in
lot of them are happy in this PinkLungi interview.
it's the difference between
There are some who are exceptionally
the young
intelligent.
actors and the older actors. The young actors will be very open to doing. That's from what we've seen.
It's not the openness. I'm just saying, like,
But see, you don't expect, you're not expecting a rocket scientist. You're expecting an actor. But the kind of conversations that you have with
Yeah.
them, that can be different, I
Right.
feel. You know, there can be more in the parya. People want to know these people. So, like you're having a conversation with us.
right.
Imagine such a conversation with actors. You know, there are very few channels, very few avenues where that exist.
Okay.
So that, I think, you know, avarade ullililla anda is not, it need not be rocket
Humanizes.
science. Yeah,
The
it can
actor,
be
yeah.
about
But
other
doesn't
things that they're
social media already kind of do that? Like the whole, so
Yeah,
so
to a
that-
certain
that's why they
degree,
say
yes.
like there are no superstars anymore.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day, actors were this elusive. Because that's why you had paparazzi and you had magazines like Hello, OK, and all these kind of like TMZ and all that, right? Like so. You didn't know Bollywood.
Neelakuil.
Neelakuil.
Ah, so it's like, you know, Abura when you see like, oh, Mammootty out of the drama poi kandu, like, oh.
But you know, you should see the old interviews. You should see the old interviews of Mohanlal, Mammootty, Jairam. They're all relaxed, chill. They're having such fun. ആ വൈബാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ കൊണ്ടുവരേണ്ടത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ്സ് വെരി റെസ്ട്രിക്റ്റീവ്. ആ ശരി, ആ ഇല്ല ഇല്ല നമ്മൾ
അല്ല, സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ ടു എ സർട്ടൻ എക്സ്റ്റെന്റ് ലൈക്ക് യു സെഡ്, പക്ഷെ എന്നാലും സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് സ്റ്റിൽ, യു നോ, there is a filter.
there is
Goes
yeah.
through filters.
Because you need, I understand it from the actor's point of view. You need to maintain a certain kind of persona so that people perceive you in a certain way.
Okay.
That we've seen firsthand also. But the thing, when you loosen up, when you feel like when you become human, when you become relatable, the audience will love you even more. That's something that actors should realize.
I actually see that a lot more in Hollywood. So even if, for example, if you take a big actor in Hollywood, reasonable actor in Hollywood, let's say like Michael B. Jordan, or somebody who's up and coming, who's done a lot of movies, they would still post content on their Instagram where they're just chilling on a beach with a couple of friends, or just waiting at an airport. These sort of things, which you will seldom see an actor over here post.
It's
Over here, it will still be more tailored content. It'll either be related to a project,
Upcoming
project
project,
that they
yeah.
have, or it'll be a slightly more tailored content.
Yeah.
But also because we are like 1.5 billion people, a mediocre actor over here already has like 2 million plus followers. In Hollywood, a good actor might only still have a 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's a bit of how much you want. The whole idol worshipping is a big thing over here.
Yeah.
People also put actors on a pedestal.
yeah.
So
And they see the actor break that.
yeah,
They're also broken.
even they'll be upset. Like,
Yeah.
like Rajinikanth has already done it. Like he's removed his wig and he looks like normal outside, but people have accepted him like that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at some point there were a lot of people. I'm sure there were people who were not happy with him, you know, presenting himself like that out in the open.
Yeah. During the maybe probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like people like to put their actors on a pedestal over here.
But our point is that we want to have deeper conversations. So we don't want to do like 15-minute interviews. We want to have like a 1-hour conversation where we understand the person. Like they might have varied interests. They might have things that they want to talk about. Those kind of things bring it out in a very real.
Right.
And the other thing that we'd like to do is have more offline events because we'd like to go offline to have more personal connection with people. You know?
I think that's
Just
what
to build a community.
Build a
that's
community
true.
and build an offline community, not just an online community. So organize events in like Thrissur, Ernakulam. Start with Bangalore because that's a good testing ground. One thing I like about
And
Bangalore
most of
is a
our
good
audience is from Bangalore.
testing ground. Appo avada test you to see how these offline events go and then slowly bring it to different parts in Kerala so that there are events for people to go to also. That they meet like-minded people and that builds a community and that gets them to count down and, you know, build the economy that we want to build here.
And another thing with offline community is that they get to know you personally. Like for they've just seen us on screen. They think of us as somebody. But when they meet, talk to each other, you get to know that person.
No, the screen adds certain levels of separation.
Yes, it does.
Like,
Yeah.
നേരിട്ട് കാണുമ്പോൾ it's like, oh,
And I'm hoping that അതൊക്കെ ചെയ്ത് തന്നെ കുറച്ച് തെറിവിളിയും കുറയും. കമന്റ് സെക്ഷനിലെ തെറിവിളിയും കുറച്ച് കുറയും.
കുറച്ച്
I think that is like you. that's something you have to deal with if you want to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You can't have like only the positive of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You cannot have
that's-
only
yeah,
the fame
agree, yeah.
and the good side of it without the
Negative.
Yeah,
thing.
that's a given.
And what was that Hindi movie? Friends in Bombay.
खो गए हम कहाँ.
खो गया हम कहाँ ले. The gym trainer guy.
Okay.
He has a bad day, so he comes and he starts putting negative comments.
yeah.
Right.
And for me, it opened up a whole different perspective on the negative comments.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that person had a bad day and they just want to vent it out.
Yeah.
And
And I've personally done that. I've personally done that. Then he rectified it at that particular, because I was traumatized because it got exposed at that particular point. And then I was like, what did I do? Like, why did I do it? It's not something that I should have done. So then he explained it to me, and then I calmed down. Then I rectified it also. I apologized. So yeah, it took. I couldn't believe that I became that person. And then it came out of insecurity.
Well, that's very human
yeah.
things,
It's basically because it offers anonymity. Social media offers anonymity, and that gives you the that gives you the liberty to be the worst person that you want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And adana, like that's a real problem. You have to face your inner demons and deal with it.
Alright, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
We had a lovely time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had a great time.
Yeah.
Amazing talking to you both, and love the channel. Keep at it. Just reach heights.
Yeah.
And like you said, I hope it fuels whatever dreams and aspirations you have, and I hope the channel does grow to the level that you hope for.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Maybe at some point when you guys are bigger, we'll meet again.
By then you'll also reach there. Yeah. Like, hey, remember us?
Of course.